Discover the ancient Japanese technique to stop procrastinating.
Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest and most influential men of the late 19th century, wasn't just an industrialist who built a steel empire. He was also a master of productivity, and his mental habits and discipline were crucial to his success. Carnegie often said, "People don't fail because of lack of talent, but because of lack of focus." He deeply believed that procrastination, the habit of delaying what's important, is one of the greatest enemies of success. Did you know that he used a technique similar to the Pomodoro technique, which was popularized many years later, to fight procrastination? Let's explore how he applied his own mental hacks to build one of the greatest empires in history and how you can use this to achieve success as well. 1. The beginning of a productivity mindset. When Carnegie arrived in the United States in 1848, he had no money, no formal education, and most certainly no powerful connections. His immigrant family, with little to no resources, landed in New York and then settled in Allegheny, Pennsylvania. At the time, Carnegie started working as a messenger for a telegraph company. And even though he was just a young man, he had a principle that he would carry for the rest of his life: total focus on the opportunities that arise. He knew that to succeed, he needed to avoid the vices of procrastination and focus on quick and effective actions. So he would start his day by setting a clear goal, a small task that could be completed in a short period. He established intense, uninterrupted focus during working moments, something he did intuitively before ever knowing the modern Pomodoro technique, but it was aligned with it. 2. How Andrew Carnegie used time as his greatest capital. Carnegie had a clear philosophy about time. He would say, "Time is the most valuable capital you have." To him, time was not something to waste. Every minute counted, and it should be used with purpose. He applied this not only in his work as an executive and entrepreneur, but also in his personal habits. When he worked, he focused entirely on a specific task without distractions. He knew that procrastination was the biggest obstacle to productivity, and that's why he made sure to maintain a focused work cycle. In fact, the method Carnegie used was very similar to the Pomodoro technique, working for short, intense periods, followed by brief breaks to rest and recharge. 3. The power of breaks. What Carnegie did that others didn't. Carnegie didn't believe in endless workdays. He understood that to maximize focus and avoid burnout, one needed to rest regularly. It was based on this philosophy that he structured his days. Instead of spending hours on a single task without breaks, he would give himself small intervals to keep his mind sharp. He also encouraged his employees to adopt this method. During the Industrial Revolution, factory work was exhausting and repetitive, and many of his colleagues felt overwhelmed. Carnegie, in his wisdom, implemented brief breaks during shifts. This not only increased efficiency, but also reduced errors and improved team morale. This is an essential principle of the Pomodoro technique, the balance between focus and rest. 4. The philosophy of focus, decision, and movement. If you ask anyone who studied Carnegie's life what truly set him apart from other businessmen of the time, the answer would always be the same: his quick decision-making and relentless action. Carnegie was one of the first to understand that in the business world, time is essential, but quick decisions are what make the difference between success and failure. He would say that indecision kills opportunities. Action creates clarity. Indecision creates paralysis. He knew that procrastination starts in doubt and the fear of making a mistake. The secret was to make a decision quickly, act with confidence, and adjust as needed. This was one of the keys to his success. If you have a goal, whether in your personal or professional life, make the choice, take action, and move forward. Procrastination is born when you let the fear of failure take control of your decisions. 5. How Carnegie overcame obstacles with a growth mindset. On several occasions, Carnegie faced massive obstacles, from financial crises to fierce competition in the steel market. But he was always someone who believed challenges were just opportunities in disguise. He believed that the human mind is more powerful than any external crisis. Where there is an open mind, there is an opportunity to thrive, he used to say. For example, when his steel factory faced difficulties, he wasn't afraid to reinvent processes, automate production, and create more efficient systems. He applied what we now call continuous innovation. This required focus, quick decision-making, and relentless action, characteristics of someone who knows that time cannot be wasted. 6. The connection between procrastination and fear. What Carnegie knew. Carnegie knew that behind procrastination, there was fear. Fear of failure. Fear of loss. Fear of missing out. He saw fear as the real reason behind procrastination, and he knew that fear had to be faced. Instead of hiding from it, Carnegie always said, "The only thing you should fear is the fear of not trying." He understood that to stop procrastinating, you must first face the fear, because fear paralyzes you. And paralysis fuels procrastination. 7. How you can use Carnegie's Japanese technique to stop procrastinating. Here's what Carnegie would say if he were alive today. You don't need a fancy app. You don't need expensive techniques or complicated tools. What you need is simple discipline and focus. Imitate what Carnegie did. When you face a difficult task, set a short interval of time to work with no distractions. It could be 25 minutes or even less. During those minutes, focus completely. Then take a quick break. Use that time to rest, but keep your mind active. Start slow, but with consistency. If you follow this method, you'll soon notice that procrastination will disappear. What remains will be a life of focus, quick decisions, and constant action. Conclusion. Andrew Carnegie didn't build an empire just with steel and money. He built it with mental control. He knew that what he repeated to himself every day shaped his actions, and his actions shaped his destiny. He didn't wait. He did. And in the end, he created one of the greatest fortunes in history. Procrastination is just a habit you can change. And Carnegie's Japanese-inspired technique is one of the most powerful ways to stop procrastinating. Start now, take small actions with consistency, and you'll see your life change. And remember, as Carnegie always said, the secret to success lies in focus and quick decision-making.